I'm John, your YouTube English teacher. In this lesson, we're going to study 18 phrasal verbs for ideas. Now, let's go. Number 1, come up with. What can we do for the party? Honestly, I have no clue. Help me come up with something exciting. All right, let's put our heads together. Help me come up with an interesting idea for the party. To think of or produce an idea, plan, or solution. She came up with an idea for the company's new product. He's always coming up with creative solutions to problems. Number 2, think up. How about a theme for the party? I got nothing. Any ideas? I'm not sure either. I'll try to think up something really memorable. It has to be something fun. I'll try to think up something memorable. To think of, the same as come up with. She thought up a clever solution to the problem. He's thinking up ideas for his project. This is the same phrasal verb as come up with, except there's an emphasis on the verb think. If you think something up, you create that idea by thinking. If you come up with an idea, it's the same. Number 3, play around. We got nothing. We need a fresh approach to this. So, what do you suggest? Let's relax, play around with some concepts, and see what works. Okay, we can experiment a little. Let's play around with some concepts and see what works. To experiment with different possibilities. They played around with the layout until they found the best design. He enjoys playing around with different musical styles. The preposition after play around is with. We play around with something, or just play around. Number 4, spitball around. What are you doing later? Just more planning for our event. Let's meet up and think of some ideas. Okay, we can spitball around for a few hours. Let's spitball around and see what sticks. To suggest and discuss ideas informally. They spitballed around ideas for the marketing campaign. We spent the afternoon spitballing around new concepts. This is not a common phrasal verb, but it is interesting. It's a little older, but where did it come from? Well, a spitball is a ball of paper and some saliva. Historically, when children, or usually school children, were bored, they created these spitballs for entertainment. Then they threw them around the room or spit them around the room, and that was their opportunity to think of new ideas and be creative while hanging out with their friends doing nothing. They were bored, so they had that opportunity. So we have this very interesting phrasal verb from that situation. Number 5, kick around. How did you come up with your last idea? I just got together with some friends and we talked about it. That's a relaxing way to think, in a comfortable place. Yeah, we kicked around some ideas for a while and had a good time. We were kicking around some ideas. To discuss or think about different ideas casually. They kicked around a few options before deciding. We kicked around some ideas for the event. This is very similar, if not the same, as spitball around, except instead of spitballs, this phrasal verb is probably more about soccer or football in British English and other languages. When you kick around a soccer ball, then you really have nothing to do. It gives you that chance to be creative and think of some ideas. Number 6, bounce off. How were you able to think of ideas? I spent some time with friends. We shared some ideas. Sounds efficient and relaxing. Yeah, we were able to bounce ideas off of each other and brainstorm. We were able to bounce ideas off of each other. To share ideas, to get opinions or feedback. She bounced her ideas off of her colleagues. They bounced ideas off of each other while hanging out. If you bounce a ball, that means the ball hits the ground and returns to you. Basketball players bounce the ball in every game. So we can apply this to our thoughts and ideas. If we give our idea to someone else or we share that idea, then that idea can come back to us just like a ball in basketball that bounces. Number 7, talk through. What do you think of this idea? Hmm, I'm not sure yet. Well, let's talk through the details of it and I'll explain it. Sure, I'm listening. Let's talk through the details to understand it better. To discuss something in detail. They talked through the plan before executing it. We need to talk through our strategy for the project. If you go through something, then you're moving from point A to point B. Point A could be the start of the idea, and point B could be the final plan. You go through the idea. You talk through the idea with communication. Number 8, occurred to. So, what do you think? Honestly, I have no clue. I have an idea. Why don't we try it this way? Look. Wow, I like it. That never occurred to me. That never occurred to me. That's interesting. To come to mind or get an idea. Did it occur to you that you could like this video? It suddenly occurred to me that there's a simpler way. Number 9, come to. I had a great idea last night. Really? Yeah, it came to me in a dream. We always get the best ideas that way. It came to me in a dream. To suddenly think of something or to have an idea. The solution to the problem came to him while he was taking a walk. The inspiration for her novel came to her during a quiet afternoon. In the phrasal verbs occur to and come to, we use the preposition to. That's because an idea is moving. It's coming to us from a mysterious place. Remember, to means movement. Go to the supermarket. Walk to the park. That's why we use to. Number 10, think over. Have you decided what to do yet? Not yet. We need more time. Okay, take your time and think it over. I'll let you know what I decide. We need to think it over before making a decision. To consider something carefully. She thought over the job offer before accepting it. They need to think over their strategy for the launch. Remember, the word over in English generally means the shape of an arc. We have a vocabulary word, overnight. The moon moves in the shape of an arc, and the moon moves that way during the night, all night. So, overnight means from point A to point B, from the evening to the morning. So, if you think something overnight, that means you think about it all night, a long time, just like think over. You think about it for a long time. Number 11, reflect on. How did the project go? It was all right. It didn't go exactly as planned. Did you learn anything from it? Yeah, but I'm going to reflect on it later and think about what could have been different. I need to reflect on the project. To think carefully about something that happened. How often do you reflect on the past? He took time to reflect on his career goals. The phrasal verb think over is about using a lot of time to make a decision. Reflect on is also about time, but it's related to the word reflection, which we find in a mirror. So, when we look in a mirror, we analyze ourselves and our decisions. We think about that using our time. So, reflect on is more about thinking about ourselves. Number 12, rough out. Have you thought about the new house you want to build? I have a plan, but haven't started building. You should hire an architect to help with that. Yeah, I agree. I already roughed out a general plan, but I need a professional. I already roughed out a plan. To create a basic version of something. They roughed out a draft for the proposal. He roughed out a sketch of the design. The pronunciation for the word rough is just using the letter F. Rough, rough, rough out. The original version of something we create, like a document, is called a rough draft. A draft is just another word for version. You can have the first draft, second draft, or final draft. The first version, again, is called the rough draft. So when you rough something out, you're creating that first idea, that first draft. Number 13, expand on. I have an idea. Quiz questions in the community section. That's a great idea. It would help students a lot. There's so much potential in it. It would definitely help your channel grow and expand on what you started. The quiz questions in the community section would help expand on your channel. To provide more information or details about something. She asked him to expand on his initial idea. The report expands on the original data. If something expands, it kind of grows. So when you have a base of information or something similar, you can expand on that information. Number 14, run with. Do we finally have our decision? Yeah, we prefer the first idea. All right, let's take it and run with that. We're all on the same page now. I'm excited to get started. Let's run with it and see how it works out. To proceed with an idea or plan enthusiastically. They decided to run with the new design. She ran with the idea and created a successful campaign. If you run with an idea, you really don't have much of a plan, but you're more excited about it. It's more about the enthusiasm. Maybe there's some plan, but you're generally running on emotions. Number 15, map out. I have no idea what we're doing. We need a clear vision. We need to see the big picture. Right. Let's map everything out so we can organize ourselves. Let's get to work. Let's map everything out and organize ourselves. To plan or outline something in detail. They mapped out the entire project timeline. We need to map out our marketing strategy. When you look at maps, you can see the big picture and a lot of details. You have a clear vision. So, if you map out your ideas or plans, you can see everything. You can navigate those ideas a little easier. Number 16, build on. We have some incredible ideas. They are incredible, but it's not enough yet. Well, let's keep thinking. We can take it further. Yeah, there's so much to build on. We could build on everything we've developed. To build after the foundation. They built on the existing research to create a new theory. We need to build on our success to grow the business. The key word here is foundation or base. If you have a foundation or base, it's like the first layer. And we build on layers because on means contact. Just like the cup is on the table, our parts are on our foundation. Then we can build on that foundation just like our previous phrasal verb, expand on. We can expand on our ideas or we can build on our ideas. We can choose which verb we want to use. Number 17, wrestle with. I just don't know what to do. Talk to me. Well, I'm thinking of quitting my job. I've been wrestling with this idea for some time. You have to weigh the positives and negatives. I've been wrestling with this idea. To give something serious thought, to consider carefully. He's wrestling with a difficult decision. She wrestled with the math problem for hours. First, pronunciation. The first letter, the W, is silent. We only pronounce the R. Wrestle, wrestle, wrestle with. If you wrestle with something, you're doing the action in our image. Wrestling is a sport. It implies that there's a difficult situation, and it's similar to the verb struggle. We can struggle with decisions or we can fight with them. We can wrestle with them, usually when there's more than one option. Number 18, lean towards. So, what's our final decision? I still don't know. I'm leaning towards the first idea. It sounds better to me. Well, I'm leaning towards the second idea. I like it more. I'm leaning towards the first idea. To be a more probable choice. He's leaning towards taking the new job. They're leaning towards the extreme political candidate. If you lean towards something, it's before you make the decision. It's your preference, but you're not sure. We have an expression in English to be on the fence. And if you're on the fence, You can lean one way or you can lean another way. You're deciding between two options, but you have that preference. It makes me so happy to see how many of you answer my questions in the YouTube community section. If you haven't seen it yet, go there now and try to answer my phrasal verb questions. I see your comments and I see how many of you do those questions. So I really hope they help and I really hope you're improving. Remember, you can join my channel membership to support the channel and my work. In return, you get more quiz questions, all designed by me to help you. The questions are about my videos and they're practical English, words that I use at least every week, not every day, exactly. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching and see you in the next lesson.